In today's brief video, I want to share with you guys 3 simple shifts in mindset that help me overcome nicotine cravings once and for all after battling nicotine substance use disorder for several years in my life. And at the end of today's video, I'm going to share with you guys a simple evening routine that can help to mitigate those evening nicotine cravings. I know for me, I always craved nicotine the most after like a long day's work when I was exhausted coming home as like a reward, and I have a routine that can help you overcome that. Now, if you wind up enjoying the content in today's video, I put all of it into a free 7-step guide to quitting nicotine. You can download that PDF document with the link in the video description or the pinned comment. It's completely free, or you can learn more about our paid addiction mindset recovery coaching programs. In order to escape the cycle of nicotine cravings, I think it helps to understand what a nicotine craving actually is. Every time you consume nicotine, your brain releases something called dopamine. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter that's responsible for motivation. It kind of makes us feel good, but even more so, it drives us to repeat a behavior over and over and over again. When we eat food, we release dopamine. When we mate or have intercourse, we release dopamine. Dopamine is that neurotransmitter that's really been responsible for putting humans on the top of the food chain. Now, the problem with nicotine is it hijacks those dopamine pathways. So every time you consume nicotine, you produce about 200%, I think it is, more dopamine than your baseline activity. And your brain says, okay, here's dopamine. I have to repeat that behavior over and over and over again. It becomes a life and death situation to your brain. That's why cravings are so intense. When your brain recognizes that those nicotine levels are depleting after about 30 to 60 minutes after your last use, your brain says, wait a minute, I'm losing dopamine, I'm losing nicotine, and it sends you into this state of fight or flight response because it views that nicotine just as important as it would food or water. I know in many cases for me, actually, I'd be tight on time sometimes at work during lunch, and I would actually forego lunch or forego drinking water just to consume nicotine because my brain craved it so severely. And I know there's a lot of people watching this video that can probably relate to that. So that's what a craving is. Now, it helps to understand that. Mindset shift number 1 when it comes to overcoming cravings would be identifying what it is you actually crave. And I think you can start with the basic acronym HALT, H-A-L-T. H stands for hunger. If you're hungry, try eating something. I recommend eating fruit. Fruit will spike your blood sugar levels, and a lot of times people will get cravings because nicotine, when you consume it, it spikes your adrenaline and your norepinephrine, which spikes your blood sugar. And a lot of times when you quit, you might be suffering from decreasing blood sugar levels, which can create brain fog and cravings. So eating fruit, addressing hunger is always a really easy, simple place to start. Or eating foods that are fatty. I like goat milk, kefir. That's one of my favorites. Or cheese. H-A. A stands for anger. Are you angry? Are you frustrated? Are you agitated? If this is the case, this is a perfect opportunity to look into some deep breathing practices or meditation practices. I recommend looking up the physiological sigh, or my personal favorite, which is called box breathing technique or square breathing technique or 4-square breathing technique. Both of those are great breathing techniques to help take your body out of that fight or flight response and bring it back down to that parasympathetic rest and digest place that we want to be in when it comes to cravings. That's how you address anger. L stands for loneliness. Are you lonely? Are you bored? Do you need interaction? Do you need entertainment? This is a great time to call someone. This is where you could call a friend, call a family member, or reach out to a support community. If you don't have access to those things, we do have the Addiction Mindset mental health community. It's $4.97 a month to join. You can find a link for that in the pinned comment or the video description. We'd be happy to talk with you and help you there. H-A-L and then T. T stands for tired. This is probably the one that would most often impact me. If you are overly tired, your willpower goes down, your dopamine drops, and you are going to crave nicotine. This was a big issue for me, especially working in my professional career as an entrepreneur. I kind of go nonstop, never gave myself that opportunity to rest, and this would lead to a point of burnout and overexhaustion constantly. And I always felt that nicotine was helping me power through that, but it wasn't. It was actually just heightening that fight or flight response, adding to the burnout that I had already been experiencing. So sometimes something as simple as taking a nap or working on your sleep is a great place to start when it comes to mitigating nicotine cravings. And we're going to talk about sleep at the end of this video. I got a little trick for you on that one. Outside of that, I think it also helps to identify what is it that you actually crave. You're quitting nicotine for a reason. You want better physical health. You want better mental health. You want to see the money go into your bank account and not to the vape shop, not to the gas station attendant. What is it that you actually crave? Is it better health? Is it more money? Is it stronger relationships? Is it better focus, better time management? What is it that you actually crave? What is it that you envision seeing yourself accomplish? That's what you have to ask yourself, because once you identify the things that you actually crave in life, I think it becomes very obvious that nicotine is never going to satisfy you from achieving or accomplishing those cravings. It's simply going to continually push you further and further away from accomplishing them. So identify the basics using the HALT acronym, and then ask yourself, what is it that you actually crave? And that's probably rooted in the same reasons why you actually want to quit. So that's mindset shift number one. Mindset shift number two would be dismantling any perceived benefits of nicotine. We all consume nicotine for a reason, right? Whether we think it helps to decrease stress, or we think it helps with our focus, or it helps aid in the depression, or it helps to cure the boredom or make us more social. We all consume nicotine for a reason. And as long as you have some list of perceived benefits when it comes to use of nicotine, you're going to continue to consume that substance despite negative consequences. Also, if you continue to feel that there is benefit to your consumption of nicotine, and you do eventually quit, and you do muster a few days, months, or years of quitting together, you're going to be white knuckling it the whole time. Because if you think there's a benefit to nicotine, and then you force yourself to stop using it, you're now quitting from a place of deprivation and willpower. And why would I ever quit something to deprive myself of something that I enjoyed? If I truly enjoyed something, even despite negative consequences, I would probably continue doing it. That's just the reality of the type of person I am. But with nicotine, with weed, with alcohol, a lot of the substances that I've given up over my life, I came to the realization that there was no benefit. A lot of people watching this are going to say, no, Dr. Andrew Huberman says it helps with focus. No, it helps with stress relief. Listen, when it comes to nicotine, I was stressed about my health. I was stressed about the money I was spending on it, right? I was stressed that I vaped, that I smoked, that I dipped. That was stressful in and of itself. Continuing to do something that I no longer wanted to be doing was stressful. That's a source of stress. And what do you do when you're stressed? You vape more, you smoke more, you chew more, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing when it comes to the stress, you consume nicotine. Nicotine exits your body in about 30 to 60 minutes. Nicotine withdrawal sets in every 30 to 60 minutes. You start to get cravings. Cravings are very, very stressful. And then you consume nicotine and suddenly you feel stress relief. So you say, it helps me with the stress. The only stress it cured was the stress that it created. The solution to your problem cannot be the thing that caused the problem in the first place. So the whole stress thing is kind of BS. Same with focus as well too. Once that drug hijacks that dopamine, the drug becomes the focus. It no longer helps you focus, but it gets to a point where you can't do anything. You can't check your emails, you can't work, you can't have fun, you can't cry, you can't laugh, you can't do anything until you consume nicotine. And that's where I say it actually dismantles and disrupts focus. Instead of helping with focus, it becomes the focus. And that's where I think a lot of people fall short on understanding exactly how nicotine addiction works. Okay, try and identify what are the perceived benefits that you have when it comes to nicotine, and start to dismantle those benefits and really start to question them, because quitting is going to be a lot easier if you truly believe there's no benefit to it. And be honest with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Don't sugarcoat it. Why do you enjoy it? Why do you do it? start to question those things, right? The third shift in mindset would be is stopping all negotiation with cravings, right? When we're addicted to a substance, we have that little addicted voice in our brains, that addicted voice. And that voice is not our voice, right? I wanted to quit because I wanted better health. I wanted more money in my bank account. I had goals that I wanted to pursue. I had a vision of the type of person that I was, and nicotine did not fit into that vision. And identifying that and saying, okay, I'm not willing to negotiate the person that I want to be with addiction, with that addicted voice, was a major step for me in defeating and deflating nicotine cravings. So identify that addicted voice when it speaks to you. Listen to what it's saying. Hey, just one more hit. Hey, just one more time with your friends. Hey, just for your birthday, whatever. Call BS. Say cancel, 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 and then immediately change your posture, get up, get moving, move on with your day, move on with your life. A craving is only as powerful as you allow it to be. The more attention, the more negotiation you give it, the more challenge you're going to face when it comes to overcoming that craving. Last tip, when it comes to nighttime, a really simple routine, I still do this a lot these days, is this. You come home, and instead of having, nicotine or whatever, alcohol, either come home and eat a big bowl of fruit or make yourself a hot glass of lemon water. I find walking around and drinking hot lemon water in the evening to be extremely relaxing. Now, after you do that, we got to close your mouth. We don't want you sticking anything else in your mouth today, especially when it comes to vapes or cigarettes or other tobacco products. So what I recommend doing is going out and picking up some Crest white strips. You can find a link to them on Amazon in the video description. If you buy them through that link, it helps to support the channel, right? We get a small commission from Amazon. Put on some Crest white strips, leave those on there. Now, not only are you closing your mouth and preventing yourself from vaping, but you're also doing a practice of self-care. You're working on your appearance. You're doing something that promotes self-care, which can help to build confidence. After you take off the Crest white strip, maybe it's time you're getting ready for bed or to watch TV, go on and throw on some mouth tape. If you don't know what mouth tape is, it's a tape specifically designed to go over your mouth to help prevent mouth breathing in the evening hours. Mouth breathing has a whole host of negative side effects for one's health, whether it's dental problems, gastrointestinal problems, sleep apnea problems. So breathing through your nose is what's recommended, especially when it comes to blood flow and stuff. So fruit, hot lemon water, Crest white strips, brush your teeth first or after, whatever the instructions say, throw on mouth tape, and go to bed. This is a great way to keep your mouth shut and to help you overcome that initial hump of evening hour nicotine cravings. Simple, stupid tricks, but I promise you they're quite beneficial. If you guys enjoyed this, be sure to check out the video description or the pinned comment. Again, all I ask is that you download that free 7-step guide to quitting nicotine today. You'll be signed up for my email list, but I promise nothing but emails like this that provide you with value when it comes to quitting. And then when you quit, you can, unsubscribe or whatever it is you got to do to get on with your life. We don't want you hanging out here forever. Until next time.